Welcome back to the show, and now we're getting to our Maestro review. This is a 2023 biographical romantic drama film that focuses on the relationship between the American composer Leonard Bernstein and his wife, Felicia Montelegre. Directed by Bradley Cooper from a screenplay he wrote with Josh Singer. Also produced by Martin Scorsese, starring Bradley Cooper, Carey Mulligan, Matt Bomer, Maya Hawke, and Sarah Silverman. It had brought in 458,000 to the box office, had a 79% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, as we mentioned earlier. This was a film where, like you said, even before we were recording, the composer element. Sometimes people don't want to see that type of film. They're like, okay, is this going to be just a boring movie? I think Bradley Cooper had a really great performance in it because he kind of embodied what Leonard Bernstein was. To you, what were your initial thoughts on this movie and kind of the direction it took? Because it could have went into like the performance element of like what he did as a
Yeah.
performer, but it kind of went more into like his personal story and some of the demons that he had with him.
Right. Well, I'm glad this wasn't a biopic. And I've seen a bunch of interviews from when I interviews his kids talking about the film and Bradley Cooper talking about the film and what he had to do to bring this to life. But initial thought I thought it was a beautiful love story. And I never knew who this guy was. Obviously, I'm not. I like
The
classical
composer
music, but I don't
guy.
know who this conductor composer guy, who he is, who's one of
Fair
the
enough.
greatest American good conductors. So I didn't know who he was going in. I only watched it, and I watched it prior to you putting it on the list because of on TikTok I saw Bradley Cooper's interview, and I like Bradley Cooper as a actor, and I do think he has that range of see him in countless movies where he showed that he's such a great actor, and I was intrigued on how he would depict this guy, and I saw original videos, and I mean spot on the movements, the energy, the sheer love of music. He captivated everything um, in this movie, and I thought it was an excellent love story. And then Carey Mulligan, man, what a what a great actress as well. Well, they don't go by actress now; it's actors too. She's a great
She's
actor.
phenomenal.
She's
She was
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Her role, like she had me convinced, bro. Like she's like this in real life. It had to be, because she was
Some
cutthroat.
people, yeah, some people. You're like, you're playing this too well. You're playing this too well for it to not actually be you in real life.
Exactly, bro. Like, hey, it's still certain people roles they played in movies. Like, bro, I really don't like you for real, for real. I don't like off Precious Monique. Boy, she played that role too
Too well, too
good,
well.
too bad. I don't know, but nah, yeah, this was first initial thought. I was like, beautiful. You know, I love that black and white.
I like
Um,
that. I like that element.
I
Yeah,
love
the
that
black and white
element.
films.
I love they use that, and then obviously they use color, but I love how they the element of how to tell the story within black and white. And man, he looked just like them. Obviously, you see Bradley Cooper oozing out
Hmm.
under,
Yeah.
and because he has like a distinguished face. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Really gave me a new perspective on uh, conductors. And I asked this question from a musical standpoint, and a bunch of people that were in bands and in orchestras or whatever. It's like I never understood the point of a conductor. And then somebody broke it down to me where he they're vital. One, knowing what the tempo is, keeping you aligned because you get so into the music and you have to look up to make sure like everybody's on the same page. You're not outplaying somebody or you're too low. You need to come up a little bit. So when they broke it down to me, I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely did.
It's so vital, man. It's
Yeah,
so vital. Even like growing up, I was in choirs, and
yeah.
even in college, I was in one, and I like know just the tempo you're having to be at. They control that.
Mhm.
It may look like they're just up there and just
Yeah,
kind of wait, but they actually are really controlling so much because
yeah.
it's the direction, and like those singers, they need somebody to guide them through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they do that perfectly.
I understood on the choir because I was in the choir too, and all like and I understood it because one, you need that guidance, but like for music, I'm like
For music, yeah,
y'all have the sheet music in front of you.
right.
You have the ear for music, and then that's how they broke it down to me why they're what they do and what's this? It's a tempo. This is 1, 2, 3. Is it 1, 2, 3? I forgot. Yeah,
Music
but
experts who are listening, don't cook us for this. Don't cook us for this. Hey, we're just we are just watching them. We're just reviewing a movie. That's it. I know people are gonna be like, oh, "What are they talking about? They don't know about music."
we don't.
We don't. We really don't.
Not that type of music,
Not
anyways.
that.
Not that type of
Yeah.
music.
And now getting to our first topic from 1 to 4 stars, what would you give it? I've been going back and forth with this one. I've been going back and forth a lot.
I was hoping you
I
went
got it.
first.
I got it at 3. I got it at 3. I think it was a really it was a dramatic and physical performance from Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I think it it highlighted who he was, the
Hmm.
person. I think sometimes I wanted more performance elements in it because like the movie Tar that we reviewed recently or last year, that felt like an embodiment of a performance element, but also the real life, the gritty details, the drama
Hmm.
outside of performance. I think I was expecting a different movie than what I got. I went into it with certain
Hmm.
expectations, but the performances were great. I just think the movie, the direction in it could have been a little
Yeah.
different. To you, from 1 to 4 stars, what would be your rating?
Definitely three. I was in between 2.5 and three. And I give it a three just because of Bradley Cooper's performance and Carey Mulligan's performance in the depiction of that love story and the individual personalities of both characters. And I think they depicted that well. And I mean, it was shot okay. I don't have anything against the shot. It was just more so of I think it was too much of the love story. And if
That's
he's
what I think. That's what I think it. I think it was. I
now
really think I was really trying to nitpick. What is it that's just not doing it for me and connecting the way I was? Because I went into it with high expectations, but it just something
yeah,
in it was like it's kind of dragging the movie down. And it's making it less of a performance film than I thought it was going to be.
yeah. And I understand if the concept of it was showing the life of one of the greatest composers, conductors to ever do it, but there's still some type of desire to show more performance. I don't know if it's because Bradley Cooper can do all of the performance, or they just wanted to pinpoint and concisize. That's
Consolidate.
not a word.
Yeah.
Consolidate. I didn't want to use that word. I want to
I had a
create a
horrible
new
intro.
word.
Hey, listeners, I had a horrible like the way
I
I brought in the show was
yeah.
trash. It was so
Hey,
trash. So I'm
I
sorry.
laughed a little bit.
I was horrible. I was horrible. So I'll just say it. So if whatever Savon does, hey, I didn't work.
I try to create a new word. I'm always about creating new words. If the Webster Dictionary can do it, I can too. But nah, to try to highlight it way too much. I understand it was a beautiful love story, and then it had the ups and downs, and she was a driving force for who he was as an individual and how they met and all these stuff was this is phenomenal. But I thought it was a overdrawn out element of a story that should have more performance
It's too
and
weighty.
how good of a conductor and composer he
Yeah,
was.
show that. That's what I really wanted to see. When I'm thinking of Maestro, I'm thinking of I want to see how great of a performer this guy was. I know he's a
Hmm.
human, but the human element was almost the focus compared to the actual title of the movie.
Excuse me.
You know,
Yeah,
I just think that was a folly. I just think
yeah,
that wasn't something that actually needed to be done.
and I think that's what a lot of people didn't really like
Yeah,
it as
yeah,
much. I think they respected it because of his performance and his depiction of Mr. Bernstein, but for just a overall movie, the love story drawn out was too much.
definitely. And now getting to favorite character, I would go with Felicia because I think this was a very rich performance and she had a lot of depth to
Felicia.
it. From them chronicling how she met Bernstein to the highs and lows of their marriage and her eventual health issues, I think she was a really just pivotal character in the movie. And her
She was
performance
a
was,
spitfire.
yeah, she was. But I mean, in the film, she brought a lot to it. She
Yeah.
came with a very demanding and just in control performance. She knew what she had to do in it. To you overall, who's your favorite character?
That's a perfect word, demanding. She definitely was. Fix your hair.
Fix your hair,
You're getting sloppy.
right?
Whoa, baby. I understand it, but hey, talk to me nicely. But obviously, Leonard Bernstein, the man, the way he just fell into the music, you can tell it took a lot out of him, but he's in so in love with it. And I think once you do that, it's just first nature. And I love there's a lot of composers, a lot of conductors, a lot of just artists, music artists, athletes or whatever who fall in love with what they're doing. I thought it was beautiful and how he looked at her, how he interacted with her, even when she was demanding. I thought it was like a sheer true love for both music and for his wife, and he seemed like a great father as well.
He
And
did.
I don't know, you can't go away from that character. Um, and then he was fiery, man. His performances, his energy. Like if I played an instrument,
So invested in his
yeah,
performances.
if I played an instrument, I would love for him to be my composer slash conductor. And just to know that, because if you see one of the performances in there, it was a lady. She was like in the violin, she was like she was going crazy
Yes.
because he matched the energy. And I feel like he was one of those conductors, and I really just spazzed. Literally, go look at that scene again. It was a close up of the violin section,
Yo, she
and
was going in.
lady was
She was
going
going in.
crazy. Head was like she was possessed. Um, but I just got a feeling like that's what type of conductor he was. He wanted you to match the energy. He wanted you to feel it. He wanted you to be in tune with it. So that's I think his character is really dope.
Definitely. And I'll get into most memorable scenes. I had the Ely Cathedral Thanksgiving Day tirade. Bernstein meets Felicia. Bernstein and Felicia's
Yeah,
interview, the conducting scenes, Felicia's doctor visit, and the news of her having cancer. Then Bernstein's family together, one more singing at home
yeah,
before her death. I
that
think
was
that
a good
was
one.
such a really pivotal movie because he really did love his family. He had
Yes, he did.
a lot of issues, but he really did love his family. He wanted them together. So you kind of what were some of the memorable scenes for you in this one?
There were three. The one when he met her the first time, when he introduced
Yeah.
him, he was at, I think he was at the piano, like leaning on the piano. And then when they were singing at the house, and then the Cathedral, that performance, and you look at the original one, oh
Hmm.
my goodness.
Hmm.
Bradley Cooper did a, and I saw so many interviews. And he was like he did that take. He did it for like a bunch of times,
Right.
and he was like, "Let me do it one more time. Let me do it one more time." And that was it. What we see in the film was the last take, and then he walked off, and he said a couple of the people that were in the orchestra came up to him. He was like, "All the other ones were crap. That one, it really felt like you were directing us and conducting us."
Wow.
And I was like, I gotta go watch it. Now I have to watch it
Now I
because I
have
looked
to.
at both of them and I was like, that's the energy, the facial expressions, the demand of perfection. And yeah, it was really dope. And then the music was amazing. I mean, I like classical music, and it was
It's so
dope. Like
good, man.
that scene kind of. I wish there were more scenes like that. Obviously, you had it practice and stuff, like, but I wish it was more of those iconic scenes
That's what
that
I
made
wanted
him
to
one of the
see.
greatest conductors. Yeah,
That's what I wanted to see. So I mean, when you have scenes like that, that I think, in my personal opinion, I think there were more scenes that probably were in the vault that could have been done for those conducting,
probably
and they just were like, we're gonna leave it
do
and
an edit.
focus more on the
Yeah,
romantic story. So
because it was a
definitely,
lot. It was a lot of stuff they could have left out with the
yeah,
romantic, like the
yeah.
sitting in the park back to back, her in the pool, like sitting. Like there's so many things, elements that really didn't bring the story together that you could have left out. But I'm not a director. We're not a
Did you
director.
see the movie
Wellington,
A Marriage Story?
sure.
With
Who's in that?
I
Well,
think it
I'm gonna
was
look it
with
up.
it was with one of the actresses that was I think she was in Iron Man 2.
Marriage
Um,
story. Let's
it
see.
was also a Netflix film.
Yes, Scarlett
Yeah,
Johansson
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah,
and
I don't know why I'm blanking on that.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yes.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, and I was like, this almost feels like an imitation of, of that than more so of what the actual composer element, because that movie actually you knew what you were getting, and I think that was
Yes.
a beautiful film. I think that was a really good
Yes.
film.
We need to review that one.
We need to review that one. Yeah,
That was a good one.
that's a
That
good
was
movie.
some great acting. I
Yeah.
was in my prime. I could have had any woman I wanted. But
Yes.
bro, like I'm like, okay, Adam. Okay. And then Scarlett had a great performance in it too. And then I love how it ended. It was
Such a
beautiful.
good
But
movie.
nah, that's a good analysis.
Yeah.
Because it was similar to how it was shot, how they kind of set it. Yeah, yeah, that's a good analysis.
And now getting into most memorable quotes, I had a work of art does not answer questions; it provides them from Bernstein. He loves the
That
music;
was
he
a good
doesn't need
one.
rehearsals. He feels it so much from Bruno Zerato, and that's why you and I are
Excellent.
able to endure and survive because the world only wants us to be one thing, and I find that deplorable from Bernstein. There are many things stopping me, Lenny, but fear isn't one of them from Felicia. I'm a perfect example of that from Bernstein. Then finally, I love music so much it keeps me glued to life, even when I'm depressed from
Hmm.
Bernstein. Um, and you saw a lot of his depression in this movie and how much a lot of these
Yes.
musicians, man, they battle with that because
Hmm.
they are having to give out so much
Yeah.
that they don't really take care of what they need inside, and they're just like having, hey, like let me perform, let me. We even see with performers today, artists today. I feel like a lot of artists probably go through that. But so you kind of like,
Yeah.
what were your memorable quotes?
Felicia had most of them, to be completely honest with you. And now that you said, I was just thinking when we were talking, and he needed her style, her demandingness, her who she was as a person, because he was getting lost. I think that's what I saw in that depression. He was getting lost a lot, and he was relying on music to take him out. But I think Felicia was a good aid, and his kids were a good aid too. I thought it was beautiful. But Felicia, one, fix your hair, you're getting sloppy because he's not taking care of himself. And the only way he can hear her is if she's like that. And now I'm kind of figuring, because you look at all musicians and their wives, they're mild mannered, they don't talk much, they're soft spoken, they don't stand up for themselves. And Felicia was not was not
Not that
having
at
that.
all. Not that at
No.
all.
And another was like, it's my own arrogance to think I could survive or what he could give. I thought that was
Yeah.
a dagger. And then Felicia said it was amazing. And then Leonard like, darling, why did you come? And she was like, there's no hate. There's no hate in your heart. And I thought that was like, she had some good ones, and there are many things stopping me, but fear is not one of them. And I think she was what he needed. She was like that balance in a sense, especially in a wife. You want that, you want her to be balanced with you. And yeah, because
Brought
he
that.
used to, yeah,
She absolutely brought
if
that for him.
you're not careful, you're gonna die alone, a lonely old queen. Where I think they were in his office or somewhere,
Yep. It
and she
was on
said that to
Thanksgiving
him.
Day.
As a man, you gotta digest that.
You got to take that one in. You got to really process
Yeah,
that. You really got to process that.
and he knew exactly what she meant, and it's only the way she said it. I feel that was what would get to him, and then it was sad that she was telling him to take care of himself, and then she got cancer. I think that's crazy. But no, she was definitely now Wellington. Hey, Felicia was the best character. Felicia was the
Man,
best
she
character.
came with it. She came with
Yeah.
it in this one, man. And now get into what did you like the most about the storyline? To me, the fact that I do like how they highlighted the mental health issues that artists,
Hmm.
that composers and just musicians in general go through. I thought that was a necessary element to highlight and kind of tap into. To you, kind of what particular element of this storyline did you like the most?
Yeah, that and I think Felicia. Now just thinking about the whole thing and replaying the movie, I think she was not like any other musician's wife
At all.
that you've seen on the screen or heard about. She brung it. She was what he need. She said what she said, and she means what she says. And she was direct, and I think that's what he needed. And he battled a lot of depression. And I'm glad. I'm not. I don't know if they said this in the film, but I don't think he turned to drugs. He smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah.
But most musicians will do drugs or hard drugs and get in, but he didn't do that. And I'm pretty sure she would have killed him if he would
Oh
have did hard
yeah.
drugs.
Yeah, the
She
intent
probably
of
would
that.
have killed him. The cigarettes was an exception, but I do think highlighting the depression of being at the top of the mountain and what it takes to get in the top of the mountain and what the effects are, and then showing how he dealt with that. And I think that was a good highlight because we get that in certain movies, but it's always negative.
Hmm.
I think they depicted it in a positive light how he dealt with depression and
Yeah.
how he was helped through his depression, and then how he was still on the mountaintop while battling depression. I thought that was beautiful because it's always a negative light. It's always a negative light. Oh, they was on drugs. He became a crackhead, and He used to beat his wife and all this stuff.
Typical
We didn't
updates.
get that in this. Yes. Oh my goodness, musicians, man, womanizers. Not all musicians, not all musicians, but
There's
a good
different one. There's
percentage.
anomalies. There's anomalies
Yeah,
out
there's
there, but
definitely
the percentage.
anomalies. It's
um,
terrible.
man, when we look at Bradley Cooper and what he's done, man, he's been in a lot of different movies. Stars
Hmm.
Born, The Hangover, American Sniper, Limitless,
Yes, Limitless was a good one.
Guardians of the Galaxy, American
Hmm.
Hustle. Like when you look at what he's done and his catalog, and like you said,
Silver Linings Playbook.
yes,
Throw
you
that in
mentioned
there.
Range. What
Hmm.
stands out to you the most about what he's able to do in these different movies?
I think is to bring out the character, like a splitting image. Because if you've never seen the Mr. Bernstein, you would think that's Bradley Cooper is him because it's literally a splitting image. Like they
It's
put it on,
insane.
they put it side by side, and to be able to bring that energy and bring what he was, like I don't. There's no flaw in his acting in his
No, no,
depiction. There's
not at all.
no flaw. You can't say Bradley Cooper didn't do a good job.
It came with it.
Maybe he's under maybe he's under fire for some other things from this film, but his depiction of Bernstein was spot on. And it wasn't even a biopic. It was literally him telling a love story and then highlighting how good he was as a conductor and a composer. So I
Definitely.
think his ability to do that and then be able to play any role, um, and be able to like find different nuances of characters, because even with his voiceovers for Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't think you could put anybody else's voice. That obviously
Mhm.
they mix it up, they contort it a little bit. I think, but his voice still breaks through. I don't think you find anybody who can voice Rocket like Bradley Cooper does. I think he's underrated as an actor, and I think um, he brings different type of emotions. Even for Wedding Crashers, he was in Wedding
Yes.
Crashers.
Yes.
Phenomenal job. He's super funny. He can do it all. He can play comedy. He can play drama. He can do biopics, which is not a biopic, but I think he's definitely versatile. And being versatile these day and age gets you gigs. And then he's producing and directing, which is hard
What
to
was
do.
did he have some production credits in Joker or because I
I
feel like I think he
think.
was in part of Joker.
Let me see. I think he was, but I know acting and directing is extremely hard. That's hard thing to do and to be able
Very
to
hard,
stay
very
in
hard.
character and
Yeah.
then not a lot of people can do that. I know off the top of my head, Ben Stiller did it.
Oh, he was an executive producer on Joker. He was an executive
Yes,
producer on Joker.
yes,
Yeah,
and that's really dope.
that's
I didn't
really
know
dope.
Martin Scorsese was part of this film though.
Yeah, and doing the research for this was the first time I saw that he actually was a part of this movie.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder
So
if
I mean,
he had a
obviously, I wanted to know. I honestly kind of want to know how much involvement did he have in it because
right.
I think this movie would have been a little different if Scorsese had been a part of it.
Well, now I gotta know because
Yeah.
what if Martin Scorsese was like a driving force to be that way, tell that love story that way? Because now that you think
That would be
about it,
interesting.
it was kind of shot like a Martin Scorsese
Yeah,
film
yeah. When you really like peel back the layers and look at this movie, I was like, it kind of makes sense that Scorsese was a part of this.
because it was a lot of just like movements
Yeah.
and like wide screen so you can shoot. Like it was one scene on Goodfellas, how he's walking through the club and
Mm-hmm.
just everything was
Copacabana. Yeah,
happening.
the Copacabana. Yeah.
Beautiful shot
Crazy.
scene, and it had some similarities. Now I want to know, Martin.
It's one of the most iconic scenes ever. Like him
Yeah,
walking
that
through
was yeah.
Copacabana
I
and
think
he's
he
just
was the
like
first to
talking all
do that
that
though.
was
Like
so
it was
dope. I
just
was like,
showing how the
people's
whole world
minds were blown
works.
when they first are like, what?
It is no jump cuts. That's one shot,
Yeah.
one guy, one camera guy following the whole thing, shooting it well. That's so extremely hard to do without nothing messing up. They had to practice that a bunch of times. Had to.
It's so funny because I was with a group of people at my church today and they were all saying like they were mentioning these newer movies, these newer shows, and they're like, Wellington, we know you only like the critically acclaimed movies. You know, I was like, why are y'all taking shots at me? Like, Goodfellas to me is just one of those movies, man. Those just like consistent whenever it's on. no matter what part of the movie, I am watching it. Like
Yes,
it can be
indeed.
30 minutes left when he's getting chased. I'm watching it. Like it's I'm
It
locked in.
got so much iconic voiceovers from shots to just like, bro, Goodfellas is a great film. Like even Casino. Casino is another one. I don't care what it. I know it's extremely long, but I'm going. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna watch it. I'm going to watch it.
I
I've
don't
been
care how
watching
long
this
it is.
film. Yeah, I don't care, bro. I would sit down and watch it and be intrigued at the same
Yeah, like
way.
I'm like it's the first time I ever watched. Like, man, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Exactly. Man, they tripping,
Definitely.
bro. Talking about they don't watch shit. Just watch critically acclaimed movies.
Well, we're getting to our last topic. 10 years from now, do you still think it'll be watched when intriguing? And I think this is an interesting one because when you're expecting um, a performance movie, you get something different, and maybe it may feel a different type of watch for you. But if you're just looking at performances, man, Bradley Cooper absolutely killed this. Um, this was both top two actors killed it. And I think when we look
Mm.
at the totality of this movie, the character of Felicia, what she did in it, bringing that balance to Bernstein was just so pivotal, and we needed it highlighted. How do you think this movie will be, will age another decade from now? How viewers will kind of, think about it?
It's tricky with these type of films like Oppenheimer. Even
Yeah,
I still
especially
haven't
Oppenheimer.
watched the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Killers of the
Them
Flower Moon,
I
man. I
still haven't
really
watched that yet. I haven't watched it yet. I've had every opportunity to do so, but I was just like, I'm just not in the mood
I'm
to
gonna say this
watch
though. I'm gonna be really intrigued if you do watch it. Let me know, and then just
what
just
I.
just just give us your brief review after, because I'm gonna be really intrigued to hear what you think about that one.
I'm gonna have to watch it because it took me a while to watch Irish because
Irishman.
we reviewed that. I had
Yeah,
to watch it, but it took me a while to actually like watch it. But I don't know. I gotta put in my mindset. I know it's Martin. I know it's DiCaprio. I know these some great guys, but
Lily
sometimes I don't.
Gladstone. I will say this: she's gonna be one that I think she's gonna gain a lot of she gained a lot of respect,
No
obviously,
respect for
but I
me.
think her
Yeah.
performance. Pay attention to hers the most because she has a really dynamic one.
Hmm. Okay. But these type of films, just because they're like a historic type vibe and
Right.
telling,
It's
I
gonna be a
don't know
different
if it's gonna
rewatch.
be
It's gonna be a different rewatch.
watchable in
Yeah.
10 years.
So we were just talking about movies that you can rewatch at any point. This is one is it's in a different category.
Yeah, like
It's not like, hey, let me just flip on Maestro.
yeah, exactly. Because with Goodfellas, it's like it's entertaining. You're gonna get
Yeah,
laughs. You're gonna get action. You're gonna get killing. You're gonna because we're always so intrigued about the mob and what
yeah,
they had. They had their hands on a lot of things. So you're always intrigued about mob movies and stories or whatever the case may be. But with films like Oppenheimer and this and some other films that biopics of things that happen in history, you not always in the moment to want to watch those type of films because you really have to sit down and watch it, if that makes sense. Because
definitely.
with like mob films or whatever, you can you're intrigued, but you can glance over or whatever. You're not gonna miss much of the story. But with this one, like I feel like I was glued to the screen because I felt like I had to. I'm gonna miss something.
Mm.
I'm gonna
Oh
miss
yeah,
something about their story or what's going on. If I even just go to the bathroom, I pause it so I don't miss anything.
yeah. Certain films you just want to
Yeah.
pause it. Yeah, definitely. Um, Before we close out though, so you did watch Oppenheimer.
Yes.
What did you think? Was it an
Amazing.
impressive? Yeah, it was crazy.
Amazing, bro.
So good, man.
Westcon performance was phenomenal. Robert Downey Jr. played
Oh
a
man,
great role. And then obviously my
Cillian
guy,
Murphy.
yeah, played a
He's been in
phenomenal.
so many Nolan movies. When I look back, I was like, man, he
Yeah.
was in Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was also in Dunkirk, obviously Inception.
Yep.
Bro, he's been in a lot of Nolan movies and
He's a great
really
actor.
good Nolan
Yeah.
movies as
He's
well.
a great actor. And his catalog is extensive too. And I think they're about to finally do a Peaky Blinders movie.
Okay.
They said it was some productions. I don't know if you're familiar with Peaky Blinders, if you
Hmm.
watch that. Phenomenal show. Love how they ended it, and I'm excited for a movie. But I think he's a good actor too. And
Seems like
yeah,
Oppenheimer's gonna have a really dominant Oscar run. Seems like they're gonna be in that,
oh
get a
for
lot of
sure.
a lot of nominations, a lot of wins. Besides, I am hearing the holdover, the new Paul Giamatti movie. that came out. Like it was a comedy drama. It's on Peacock. It's getting a lot of buzz too. But I think besides that, Killers of the Flower Moon, it's controversial, so it's not the type of movie the Oscars would put up. But
Mm.
Oppenheimer, man, like even at the Golden Globes, it's racking up a lot of attention. So it's gonna go on that run.
I mean, they shot it well. Shot it well. I think they didn't leave a lot of things out. And then if you're a history buff, you kind of got the intricate detail of what was going on, why
Oh
Hitler
yeah,
was an
you got what
intricate
you wanted.
part. Yeah, you got what you want. You got all the juicy details you want to get it because it's government. You're not gonna
You're not
whatever.
gonna know that.
But for me, it was just like that's why I went to see that over. I mean, obviously that's pivotal because of what they did to. That's crazy what they did to them, and I think that's why I didn't want to watch that movie because I'll probably get pissed because it's as worse as slavery. How are
It
you
is.
going to cap
It's a
somebody's
heavy
money,
watch.
bro? It's insane, and I think that's another reason why I'm hesitant to watch it because I'm going to get upset because one, I have I have that blood in me, Blackfoot and Cherokee, and I'm gonna get extremely upset at how do you cap somebody else's money,
I'm part
bro?
Cherokee
That's
too. Me as well. I got the Cherokee.
crazy.
I got the Cherokee in me too. Like it's.
Yeah, bro. Like, how do you do that? Are you come with somebody, bro? The
Yeah,
audacity to do something, bro. That's crazy, bro. And then get upset when they don't like it.
absolutely crazy.
Anywho, yeah, bro. I'm proud of that you sat through that because I would have turned that theater upside down.
Me and Kevin Garcia were talking about it when he was on for the review of it. He said he was, watching it and like he was super emotional near the end because his wife was there saying like,
Yeah.
"Are you okay?" Like he said, "Bro, that was a tough watch." And he's studied. I mean, in his lineage, obviously from what we talked about in that review, and he said that was it's a great one. He appreciated it, but he also was like,
Yeah.
"Man, I needed
Tell the story.
some
Yeah.
time to process it after I left." Like
Yeah,
that's
bro.
heavy.
That's the amount of stuff they did to them. And then you turn oh man, that's they didn't want us to forget.
They want us to forget so quick, man. Like, oh, just come on. That's the past. It's the past. Come on. Let
This is
bygones be
America.
bygones. Yep.
Don't think you should
As
live it up.
childish Gambino said, man, bro. I might rewatch that video because that was a crazy video. That was a crazy video, bro. My goodness.
Bro. And then he would have downplayed when it first came out. He's like, bro, I don't know what y'all talking about, bro. That's just a regular video.
Child, come on.
Come on, man.
That video. And it's the video. Like whenever people talk about that, it's the video because that is one that instantly, I'll never forget it. It was a Wednesday night in youth group. Tyler played it. That video. It's like, what do you guys think? Everybody was like, their jaws were dropped. They're like, bro, that was crazy. I've never seen something like that before.
So many like you got to pause it to pick up on a bunch of stuff that he was talking about.
Man,
And then Atlanta like highlighted so many things. And
I miss that
it
show
took
so
me,
much. I miss that show so much, bro.
man, I wish it
You
would
don't
have
really
came back.
watch.
The last season I enjoyed the most because it was so sporadic. It
We
was
still haven't
everywhere.
reviewed the last season. We still haven't reviewed the
We
last.
got
Still got
to
to review the last
because
season.
he
Yeah, we
did a
definitely have to.
whole thing
Yeah.
on the Goofy movie
Yes.
and how
That actually might have been my favorite episode of the
that
entire
was my
season.
favorite because
That
I
probably
didn't
was my
never
favorite
know that
episode. I didn't know
he
any
was
of
the
that.
head of Disney because they thought he was another dude, and you can't do that because they would have sued him. Like, bro, and then they changed so much of the movie without his permission, and I think somebody killed him.
That's definitely one of those like hidden mysteries where you don't
Hmm.
even know. It's so deep in the ball. I'm like, what research did they do? To, like, bro, that was crazy, man. Atlanta season 4 rewatch is coming soon. That's all you guys.
Yes, yes.
Well, that wraps it up for tonight. I'm your host, Wellington Bernstein, my counterpart, Savon Morris. This has been Full Scope. See you later.